Welcome back to my channel. So first off, I want to start off by saying I reached 1,000 subscribers. So I just want to thank you guys so much, because when I first started this YouTube channel, I think I started my channel like 8 months ago, I honestly didn't think that I would get over maybe 200-300 subscribers. So now here I am at my 1,000 subscriber mark. So I just want to say thank you guys so much, whether you liked, commented, subscribed, just all your support and everything that you do. I just really want to let you know that I appreciate it. Now, my 1,000 subscriber video will be coming up here within the next week or two. I just didn't know whether or not I should pile all the stuff that I have been collecting for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway into just one prize for one person, or whether or not I should just divide it up and, you know, make it like 2 or 3 winners. So I think that I'm going to go with that option because I wanted to make it as fair as possible, and I want to give you guys a better chance of winning, you know, so you have a better chance of winning if there are more prizes being given out. So I think that I'm just going to choose, I think I'm going to make it 3 winners. I think for now I'm going to make it 3 winners. So with that being said, today I'm doing a product review on the new Lorac Mega PRO 3 palette. And this is how the palette looks. And I picked this palette up last week. Ulta had a early release for their platinum members. So I picked the palette up. And yeah, I used the palette to do my eyeshadow today. So today is pretty much going to be a review, swatches, and an eyeshadow tutorial on this look. So if you guys are interested in seeing my thoughts on the new Lorac Mega PRO 3, an eyeshadow tutorial and swatches, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so I picked this palette up from Ulta, like I said last week, when they had an early release for their platinum members, and I was super duper excited to pick this palette up because I didn't pick up the first one, and the second one I really wasn't interested in the colors. But this one, when I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get that one. So these colors like right up my alley. So this is just how the packaging look. And of course you can see the palette retails for $59, and it is limited edition. Now this palette does come with 32 shades, 16 mattes, and 16 shimmers, which I think is very good. And it comes in like, the texture of the shadows are really buttery. They're really smooth. They're classic Lorac shadows. So if you like Lorac shadows, which I love Lorac shadows, I think my Lorac Pro palette was like one of my first high-end eyeshadow palettes. So most people's was the Naked palette. Mine was the Lorac Pro palette. So yeah, I love this formula. I have the Lorac Pro 1 and 2. I did not pick up the 3. And then I have the Pro Metals. And then I have the Unzipped and the Unzipped Gold. So this is just going to add to my collection of my Lorac shadows. So I'm just going to get into the swatches. How I'm going to do this, I'm going to swatch it, I think, like, you know, 1 row at a time. So like I said, there are 32 shadows. There are 2 rows of mattes and 2 rows of shimmers. So I'm just going to show you what the palette looks like. This is just what the palette looks like. The palette is white with rose gold writing on the palette. I really love the palette. It's so sleek. It's so thin. So it'll fit, like, it probably won't fit into most of your, you know, organizer drawers. I know it won't fit into mine, but I have like little storages where I store my bigger palettes, so this won't be a problem for me. I feel like this is a palette that I would reach for all the time. It comes with a nice size mirror. The mirror does not stand up on its own, and this is just how the palette looks on the inside. So you have some really gorgeous colors, and you know, you have your lighter tones over here, and then you have your deeper tones over here. And I like how they included warm and cool tones into one palette. So I'm going to swatch the palette. I'm going to start with the mattes first, and I'm going to swatch the first row for you guys. I'm just going to read off what they are. And this is Pink Cream, Tan, Pecan, Walnut, Dusty Mauve, Violet Gray, Eggplant, and Dark Navy. So that is the first row. And now I'm just going to show you swatches of the first row. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be showing you the first row, which is this row right here. And the colors, and here are the swatches. They are some very, very, very pigmented shadows. And one thing I can say about these shadows, like with other holiday sets, like, you know, it seems like some companies will, I don't know, the quality of their holiday palettes are not as good as the quality of their regular palettes. But one thing about Lorac, the quality of their Lorac Pro, their Lorac Pro Mega palettes are the exact same and the exact same formula as their regular Lorac shadows. So I really love that. So this is going to be an awesome palette to have because the pigmentation on this palette is crazy. So here are the swatches. Right here you have Pink Cream, which looks like a creamy white. Right here you have Tan. Pecan right here. Walnut. Dusty Mauve. Violet Gray. Eggplant. And Dark Navy. So this is the first row swatched. And this is all mattes. Like I said, the first two rows in the palettes are all matte. I just think that these are some gorgeous colors. Alright, and now I am going to move on to swatching the second row of mattes for you guys. And they are Crepe, Toffee, Mist, Vintage, Hockey, Maple, Bark, and Jet Black. So this is the second row. And I'm going to swatch the second row for you guys. Alright guys, so I have the second row swatch for you. Trying to swatch on my arms. My swatches are horrible, but I have the swatches for you. So this is the row that we are going to be looking at. The second row. And this is Crepe. And it is just a really pretty cream shade. This is what I use to set my entire eye today. This is Toffee. Mist. And it looks kind of like a really, really, really light gray. Vintage. Hickory. And right here is where the swatches get bad. Maple. Bark. And Jet Black. Isn't this the most gorgeous black? The black is super duper pigmented. Now these shadows are like really, they have a lot of fallout because they're really soft and they're really fine, just like Lorac textures. I mean, some people like the formula, some people don't. I love the formula. So yeah. They are super pigmented, and this is just the last matte row. And there you go. There's your two matte rows. And now I'm going to swatch the first shimmer row for you guys. And that is Snow, Kava, Cider, Bellini, Brown Sugar, Sequoia, Glacier, and Deep Frog. Sorry, Deep Fog. And that is the row that I'm going to swatch, the first shimmer row. Alright guys, so here we have the first shimmer row. And I've swatched this row for you. And here are the swatches on my arm. I did a little better with these swatches. But these are some really, really pretty shadows, and they are super pigmented. All of these swatches are like one swipe. So this is Snow. And that is what I used in my inner corner and as my brow bone highlight today. This one is Cava, C-A-V-A. This one is Cider. Bellini. Brown Sugar. Sequoia. Glacier. And Deep Fog. So this is the first row of shimmer shades. Some very, very, very pretty shades. I love these shades so much. So that is just the first row of shimmers. And now I am going to swatch the last row in the palette, and the last row of shimmers also. And it is this row right here. And these shades are Tulle, Pink Bronze, Rust, Rose Quartz, Olive, Dark Roast, Pomegranate, and Licorice. And it's this row right here. And now I'm going to swatch this row for you guys. Okay guys, so I've swatched the last row. And this is the last row, the shades that we are going to be looking at. And here is swatches of the last row. The first shade is Tulle, Pink Bronze, Rust, which is a gorgeous color, Rose Quartz, Olive, Dark Roast, Pomegranate, which is what I am wearing on my lids today. This is the color that I was like most excited to get into in this palette. And then you have Licorice. So here are the shades from the last row. Alright guys, so that was all of the swatches of this palette. Like I said, this palette comes in it comes with 32 shades. 16 matte and 16 shimmer, and your first two rows are matte and your second two rows are shimmer. And each and every shadow in this palette swatched really nicely. All of the matte swatched really nicely. All of the shimmer swatched really nicely. Honestly, I feel like if you only pick up one holiday eyeshadow palette, so I know you guys are going to say, well, you said that same thing about the Bobby to Glow Shimmer Brick palette. That is the highlighter palette. Although I have not tried out the Anastasia highlighter palette, I've ordered that and I have it on the way. So I'm going to be having a review on that and the Makeup by Mario Master palette, or whatever that's called. Yeah, I'm going to be having a review on both of those palettes as well. But for now, that's why I want to just swatch all the holiday gift sets that I'm going to swatch, and then just let you guys know what I think are the best sets and which sets are worth the money. So far, out of all the palettes that I've swatched and all the palettes that I've tried out, this one is hands down the best eyeshadow palette that I've tried. I have only maybe a few cons about this palette. The con that I have about this palette is it doesn't have a matte orange shadow. You know, that like matte rust shadow, kind of like pomegranate, but matte, because, you know, it's fall time and, you know, we all love that orange shade. But like I said, I have that shade in a million palettes, so that really doesn't bother me, because I wanted an orange right above my crease today, so I just used a Red Brick by MAC. So I had to go into another palette, so that's a con for me. I just love that shade, and I love that shade in, you know, every palette. If I can put it in every palette, I probably would. The second con for me is the packaging, the color. A white palette. This palette is going to get dirty so quick. Like, I don't even know. I've gotten it dirty, and this is just my first time pulling it out. Although I've tried to be extra careful not to get it dirty on the front. Palettes like this I normally store in the boxes, but this box is, you know, it's like, it's really thick. It's really not thin, so I don't see myself storing it in this box. So I don't know. I guess I would just have to work really hard to keep it clean. But as you can see, just from the swatches, how nasty the palette looks. Like, I've gotten the palette really nasty on the inside from the swatches. So needless to say, I'm going to be keeping the plastic on top of it. But that's the only con that I have about this, the packaging. Because, I mean, I don't know, with it being makeup, I kind of feel like the packaging should have been a different color, because this is going to get dirty so quick, especially if you are, you know, the type that when you do your makeup, you know, you just grab one palette and you grab this and you grab that and you have all this makeup on your hands, and then you grab this pretty white palette and then it's all messed up. But the nice thing about it is you can get a makeup wipe and it wipes right off. So that is a small pro, I guess. But other than that, I really don't have anything bad to say about this palette. I honestly love all of the colors in this palette. I think that they swatch very beautifully. And I think that this palette suits every single skin tone. Like, you have colors for every single skin tone in this palette. And like I said in the beginning, you have your cool and your warm tones in this palette. So I honestly love this palette. This is my favorite palette so far. So I would definitely suggest you guys pick up this palette. I think that it launches at Ulta, I think on the 2nd. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to have the correct information down in the description box. But I think that it releases on the 2nd. So yeah, if anything, like I always tell you, just go into Ulta and swatch the palette and see if you like it. But I'm pretty sure you will love the palette, because, I mean, look at this. It has some gorgeous colors in it. And I don't know, it's just, I kind of feel like this is like an all-around palette. Because, I mean, I could probably substitute the orange that I love so much, probably for the maple shade. If this was the only palette that I wanted to take with me, I could do that. I love a palette that has a black in it, and you have all of these different options right here. Like, you have your dark navy, then you have your jet black, which is a matte black, then you have deep fog, and then you have licorice, which is a shimmer black. So I honestly love this palette. You have the perfect amount of browns, and then you have the perfect amount of transition colors from everybody, whether you are fair all the way to dark. This palette has the perfect transition colors for everybody. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the Lorac Pro Mega 3 palette. I definitely think that this palette is worth checking out. Like I said, the palette is $59. I will have all the information linked in the description box down below as to where this palette can be purchased. I'm not sure where all online this palette can be purchased. I know that you can purchase it at Kohl's, and I know that it'll be available at Ulta. So all the other places I will probably have to check to see if it is available anywhere else. But I know for sure that it will be available in Kohl's and Ulta. So yeah, that wraps up my review on the Lorac Pro Mega 3 palette. I really love this palette so much, guys, and this is the palette that I used to do my eyeshadow makeup today, and I did record it. So if you guys want to see a tutorial on this look, then just keep on watching. And once again, thank you guys so much for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. I can't wait to reach thousands and thousands more of subscribers. So yeah, my 1,000 subscriber video will be coming, like I said, within the next 2 weeks. So make sure to be on the lookout for that, because I have some really nice goodies in that giveaway. And yeah, if you guys want to see a eyeshadow tutorial on this look, all products that I use in this video will be listed in the description box down below, like my lips and my blush and all the other stuff. Anything that I use in the video, I will have it linked in the description box down below. And if you guys have a question about anything else that I'm wearing on my face, all you have to do is just ask in the comment section, and I try to get to those answers right away. So yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing how I created this look using the Lorac Pro Mega 3 palette, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so I'm starting out with my brows already done. And I'm going to be using my MAC Paint Pot Layin Low. And I'm just going to use this to prime my eye stay. Alright, next up to set my paint pot in place, I'm going to be going in with this really pretty cream shade from the palette, and it's called Crème. And I'm going to be going in with this, and I'm going to use this to set my paint pot in place. And it's just going to help my shadows blend easier. Alright guys, next up I'm going to be going in with my transition color, and I'm going to be using the shade Pecan from the palette. Alright, and to add a little definition to the crease, I'm going to be going in with the shade Bark. And it's just this really pretty brown, this dark brown. Alright, next up, because I wanted that orange right above the crease, and this palette did not have one, I'm going to be going in with Red Brick by MAC. Alright, next up I'm going to be smoking out the outer V, and I'm going to just cover up half of my lid with this color, and I'm using the shade Jet Black. And this black is so pigmented, so you have to be light-handed with it. Alright, next up I'm just taking a blending brush that I used to blend out, I think, a smoky eye the previous day. It still has a little black on the brush. And I'm just going to use this to blend out that black. Alright, next up, going into my lid color, I'm going to be using the shade Pomegranate, which is the shade that I looked at as soon as I opened the palette. I really love this shade, so I wanted to use this shade. So at first I was just going to put it in the middle, and then I was going to put another color on the inner corner, but I just decided to put Pomegranate all over the lid. And I cut a lot of blending out of this, but you really have to blend that black out, because if I would have left all the blending in, then the video would have been super long. Alright, next up I'm just blending that out so there are no harsh edges. And then I'm going to take the shade Snow, and I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bone. And it is just a white shimmery shade. And I took the shade with a light pan. Alright, next up I'm going to be using my favorite eyeliner, and it's my Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. So I'm going to use this to line my top lash line, but I'm not going to wing it out today. Alright, next up for my bottom lash line, I'm going to be using my Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Eyeliner in the shade Black. And then I'm pretty much just going to repeat the same steps that I did in the crease on the bottom, using jet black to blend out that black eyeliner that I placed on the bottom. And I'm just going to go in with that shade Bark to help me blend out that black. And just to add some color to the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with Red Brick by MAC, and I'm going to put this on the lower lash line to help blend those two colors out. Alright guys, and I'm going to take Snow, and I'm going to use this to highlight my inner tear duct also. Alright guys, and for my blush, I'm going to be using Cornelia by Milani. I just felt like I needed to take a break from my Taraji Glow. I kind of figured you guys were tired of seeing that because I used that the past couple of videos. So I kind of just wanted to switch it up, and I hauled this blush also, and I really like it. It's a really pretty color. Alright guys, next up for my highlighter, I'm going to be using my Ofra highlighter in Rodeo Drive. And this is my first time using this highlighter ever since I hauled it, and I really like it. Alright guys, next up for the lips, I'm going to be using my favorite lip liner of all times, and it is my SheaMoisture lip liner in the shade Dark, and it's just a dark brown lip liner. And for my lipstick today, I'm going to be using one of the Milani Matte Amore lipsticks from their fall collection, and this is in the shade Love. And I really like this shade. It's a beautiful shade for fall. now I'm just going to spray my face with my NYX First Base Primer Spray. And that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from me. Until the next video.